Welcome back, guys, to the penultimate episode of Factorio Recursion, at least for a while. We are almost done with the factory as I originally imagined it, or at least as the concept or whatever. Everything is almost in the base, and it's going full clip, and rockets are automated. We've got a few optimizations left to do, figure out some stuff, make it look nice, kind of like put it like a spit shine, wipe on, wipe off, give it like some car wax, etc. And the next episode, we will recursion the last thing that's not in the base, which is the nuclear power plant thing, and establish a water outpost, that kind of stuff. Okay, but before all that, I have a special announcement for you. A very, very big day for me personally. I am very happy to announce that I have joined the X-Men. Yeah, as it turns out, I went to the doctor, and he's like, took a blood sample, and it came back a few weeks later. He's like, hey, guess what? You're a mutant. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I always wanted to be a mutant, although not really. Although now that you tell me I'm a mutant, I'm really excited about it. And he says, yeah, it turns out your mutant power is you can make concrete, and you can join the X-Men, and they're going to call you your superhero nickname, code name is Concrete Man. You're kind of like Iceman in that you can surf all over the place, making these kind of like bridges out of ice that you can ride on. Well, you do it out of concrete in Factorio! Woo! Okay, don't get hit by a train. How long is this gonna take to run out? Probably not very long. Okay, there we go. All right, so all those empty slots that are now empty in my inventory space, that was filled with concrete. And we just used it on that much. Is it like the letter Q? We drew the letter Q. Today, boys and girls, this episode of Factorio is brought to you, don't get hit by a train, by the letter Q. It wasn't moving very fast anyway, wouldn't have killed me. But what we're going to do after we do a few odds and ends on the inside of the base is we are going to concrete out our base. We'll also use the bricks and the colored concrete and some walls and lights and just try to give it a makeover, make it look a little bit nicer. And we'll get into that a little bit later. All right, let's go inside the base. And, oh, before I do that, let me take off some of these legs, because that is too many for general use. It's too hard to actually hit the doors I want to go in. So we updated this area last episode, and we added all of these extra belts of stuff. Extra copper, extra steel, extra iron, and a mixed belt of iron and gear wheels. And I have reworked the main bus in here. So it's now all smoothed out. Everything is hooked up again. I've disconnected again the red circuits and blue circuits going into the quality of life area because I don't want them getting sucked up making modules right now. I want them making science and rockets, and I refined all of this, and I added the extra belts to our science area. I'll show you that update. So the main bus in here is now 3 belts wider. There was actually exactly enough space to fit those 3 belts in here, so I didn't have to move anything. That was nice. I left myself a little bit extra room, and I ended up needing it. Thank you very much, autosave. So we have, I'll show you exactly what we did with it. We had already a belt of copper. Now we've got 2. So as we go down and we split it off, we merge the leftovers of what's there. Oops. Okay, well, look at this. There's an error. Bam. Okay, we were not merging the 2. We're supposed to be merging the 2, whatever's left of them after they split off up there, into here. And the same thing with the iron. We had 3 belts, and we'll get to the half in a second. We had 3 belts, and as they're split off, we just give them some balancers to make sure they're evenly distributed again. And as we get down to the bottom, we merge them into 2 belts, and then they go into there. Same way they were before, but just reinforced with more items. And then the one thing that was totally new is we had a mixed belt of iron and gear wheels. And that goes up here, and that's making our green science, which is required. We need the belts and the inserters. And both of those, guess what? Transport belts take an iron plate and an iron gear wheel, and an inserter takes an iron gear wheel and an iron plate. So equal proportions, although when you make belts, you get 2 of them. But whatever, this amount of belt is good for, we only need like a little bit less than half of this belt to supply this. So we actually, I split this belt and we sent it off to the other building as well. So this belt and these circuits now by themselves just make the greens. And then where does it get split? It gets split right there. It gets merged onto there, and then it comes down to the bottom. That's the full gear wheels here. It comes in here, in the side, and in the top right. This building is so jam-packed. I didn't think I could fit anything else in here, but yeah, I managed to. So I decided to reinforce the gun turrets for whenever I'm making a military science, which I guess is not too often, but whatever. May as well use what we can. So I reinforced the construction of our gun turrets, which require gear wheels and iron, and also requires copper. And to get it there, we went all the way around here, all the way down here, because I needed to find a space where I could fit the underground belts. All the way here, I spread these guys apart. Yes, okay, they do have an underground belt, just making sure I didn't screw something up. Then it goes, wraps under here, gets squeezed in between this, and then goes up here. It's amazing. Yeah, this area, particularly this section right here, is the most complicated in terms of belt logistics. Most complicated thing I've ever made. And it works. If I had to redo it, we would definitely split it up into multiple factories, but now that it's done, it's done. So that is the science area finished for now. What's going on with the science? What are we waiting on? Oh, no, I see the space science. We're missing yellows. Okay. Maybe I did disconnect something. Yes, the yellows are not being crafted because we're missing copper cable. Oh. Okay, so here's another thing that happened. As I was rerouting everything, I screwed up placing which belt goes where a couple times. Just now found that. And that belt got split, so it's the same belt feeding both of these. That had cut off. The yellows, I just now noticed. Good thing I came in to check for the video. Come on, get off the belt. Okay, so we can put these extra things inside these factory guys. Who needs some copper? You need some copper. Is everything working now? Looks like it. Other errors like that will quickly make themselves apparent because the thing they're making gets cut off. Science slows down. We see an entire empty belt, which is no good. Okay, but it looks like that got fixed. Yeah, because I added 3 extra belts, certain things ended up being in different places on different belts, and so you get errors. I also increased the amount of bricks we had and a number of small changes, which you probably don't care about, right? Okay, so that's what we did. Last thing to do, well, the thing to do for today, really, is we need to add these 10 assembly machines to our layout. And at first I thought we were going to have to recursion things and split them off into separate factory buildings for the different, the 3 different things that the rocket silo requires. But ever since we moved our rocket fuel inside our oil refinery, that's why this big space is empty, I think we can definitely do it in the space we have without recursioning stuff. And I think I might even get rid of the logistics network. I'm not sure about this yet. I'll get to that once we get to it. We might get rid of it and just have things on belts. First off, I'm going to cut off the belts going into things. Just in case, it's a little bit easier when you're reconfiguring belts like this. Cut off that one. I'll cut off that too. It's a little bit easier when you're actually... Let's go ahead and let that one run dry. It's easier when you're reconfiguring stuff and you're picking up belts and moving things around if the belts aren't continually having items flow back down them. Yeah, okay, let's pick up all this. Let's sit down some chests to hold the stuff I'm about to drop on the ground, because I think my inventory is going to fill up. But what we can do, we need to add 5 more of the low-density structures and 5 more of the rocket control units, the assembly machines. And previously, to make the output cleaner, I had separated these assembly machines so we could sideload them and we could have the output on this belt here. But we can do it a different way with some red belt and blue belt weaving. Because if we take out these guys, we have exactly enough space for 5 extra assembly machines, which I think works out fantastically. So we'll do that. We'll do that. Shift left click, shift right click, then we'll run back through with productivity modules. And we'll add the inserters. And See what I mean? So now that this stuff is getting used up, the belts are going to be empty. So as I reconfigure things, less crap like this, all these low density structures ends up in my inventory. I think I actually have an overflow. Yeah, I do have an input chest for overflow stuff. You notice we didn't hear that rocket launch? Didn't make any sound. That's because we came in after the launch animation had started. I mentioned that last time. Okay, so what we can do, we're going to pick up... In fact, I'll use robots for this. We're going to pick up these. And you know what? I might just to make it easier for me to think about it, I'm going to pick up this whole belt. Whoop. Okay. And then we're going to space out the blue belt like this. All I need is one inserter, so we can have a nice big, huge gap here. And then we're going to use blue belts, or red belts, for the output. This is going to be input. Okay, so here's how it goes. It always takes me a minute to figure this out, because we've got so many inserters and belts and everything overlapping. So we want to basically just want to have stuff on both sides of the belt. So we're going to have them go up to the top here, and then down there. And then they should all end up coming out here. And then we want them on half the belt because the other half is going to be merged with these guys. So we want this item. We didn't necessarily have to merge them onto one side of the belt. I just think it helps to make sure that all the assembly machines always have a way to output. They're never blocked, or it's much less likely that they get blocked by other items on the belt getting in the way. There we go. Okay, so that was fine. Next thing we do is we need to move these guys down here. So I'm just going to kind of get them out of the way. And copy paste. So we can pick these up. And we can... I could have just changed what they did. I didn't have to pick them up, but whatever. All right, after thinking about it for a while, I've decided we're going to keep the logistics system because there's so many different requirements for these guys. It's just, I don't feel like having the headache of routing like green circuits and gear wheels and iron belts. And then we need iron and copper here and sulfuric acid. And this guy needs batteries, which come from these guys. And I could route it, I just don't want to. And we've got the space to just move it up here. So we'll have basically like this whole area just for the rocket silo, and we can make some cool like concrete picture around it and put some walls down and maybe some sound effects and stuff like that. Okay, so we copied this one. It's not in the logistics system right now. That's okay. Which one was it? Let's delete the blueprint now that we've done it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, now we'll do this one. And we'll put you like that. Very good. And then we will deconstruct these, and I'll have to wire up the... Oh, you know what? Tell you what. Passive provider chest. And I can dump these things in here. It should refill those chests, since all these chests are mostly empty now. And I'm going to reconfigure the way this looks anyway. Clean it up, look pretty. When I made this originally, it was a let's do this quickly and as dirty in a manner as we can. We can pick up all of these and everything they give me. All this crap. Just dump in this chest. And we'll have to move the roboports up here, which should not be a big deal. We will move this as well. In fact, let's see, that's sulfuric acid. We don't need that for the satellite. No. The only thing that's being used for, that sulfuric acid, is for the batteries. And I have this extra entrance here, which might be a little bit more streamlined than bringing it in the bottom. And bringing it in the bottom got in the way of this belt. So we'll think about that in just a second. But we can get rid of this whole row of beacons. Look at that power savings. We can put our rocket silo in the middle in like some cool position. Figure out how these things work in a bit. And so, after more head scratching and deliberation and trial and error, this is the way the silo is going to look. We're going to be putting these guys on belts into logistics chests so that they can get loaded into the system and all that kind of stuff. I figured out the way it's going to be and how streamlined it's going to be, all that kind of stuff. We can connect everything up and set the rockets in motion once again. This is basically the cleanest way I could figure out to do it. Keep everything straight and simple. So you're going to be like that. You're going to be like that. You're going to be like that. And then we'll go right down to the end until we get to the bit with the underground belts. Connect everything up. And then everything should be nice. And we'll also reconnect up our little circuit condition thing to make sure that it's not using more resources than I want it to. And I haven't hooked that up yet, so we should not dawdle too much. Oh, it's not going to make anything because I haven't put down the roboports. And we can just do something like this. 4 on either side and dump in some of these guys and go to work, buddies. Go crazy. Is that all the things we need? Oh, no, it's not all the things we need to do. I need a stack inserter there. We've got the stack inserter for the rocket science because we're direct inserting. We don't have to worry about filter inserters anymore because we separated the rocket science from the satellite. These guys are going on the belt. Okay, lovely. We should start using that stuff up now. And I also have... we can get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. That is an artifact of an age-old time. More civilized time. Oh, you know what I should do? Because I've got a lot of this stuff. Oh, I've got some right here. Already made it. Okay, and I'm going to put this in here. These don't stack, so I'm going to have to put another one in a little bit. I've got all this stuff I guess we can pick up because we're basically done with this phase. It's much cleaner now than it used to be. Look at this layout. It used to be much more of a mess, and now, even though we're still using a logistics system, it looks much more refined. I actually spent a few minutes thinking about it this time. Put that in there. Okay, we're making science again. Hooray! And we'll just run up here and dump out some of this excess stuff. Did I just... Yeah, dang it. Put that back in there. Put the steel in here. It's supposed to remember... by the way, my mouse is dying. I think it's probably my mouse. It's supposed to remember what you were placing as you run down the line. And I think it's my mouse having problems. We don't need it for that. I'll put the blue circuits somewhere else. We can put the green circuits in there. In there, I guess. And also in these guys. And the red circuits in there. Did it launch or what? What's it waiting on? Oh, I have to recheck auto launch with cargo. Right, I was staring at it for minutes. Huh, what's the problem? I don't know. What could it be? We need to auto launch, friend. Okay, very good. Oh, I didn't limit this. Oh, crap. Okay, this, no wonder it's eating all my items. That is way too many things. We don't need all that many things in here. Okay, which, for the blue circuits, we only need a bit. Which one did I change? This one. Okay, shift right click, shift left click all the things. Update those numbers. No wonder I was like, why are these belts still getting drained? This should have filled up ages ago. All right, well, we just, we'll take all these extra stuffs and we'll probably go dump them into science. All right, so we are getting pretty darn close to rocket and satellite launch number 100. Okay, rocket. Oh my God, it's so noisy. Oh my God, it's so loud. That's number 97 or 98? It's gonna say 98. Yeah, now it's 98, close to 100. We're working on mining productivity 42. Yeah, we're getting up there. 82% mining productivity, getting close to 100%. And with productivity modules, we are over 100% now, I think. Anyway, that's it for the episode. Next episode, we're gonna recursion the power system, the nuclear facility, and then we should be... Our project should be done, at least stage 1, before we completely revamp it at some point in the future, maybe. But the real bottleneck now for the base is the red circuits. I think we'll probably rebuild that next episode as well. We need basically a full belt here, and we're not getting that. So we need to upgrade that. And that's going to happen next episode, because that's going to have to reroute some stuff and rebuild and all that kind of things. And I've been fiddling around with the concrete stuff, just sort of sketching, just trying out ideas. I had this idea of the brackets. When you mouse over things, you get these yellow brackets. I thought, why don't we do that on a very big scale? The colored concrete mod also gives us this red concrete. I think it might look better, though, with... Oops, I just crafted that. I wanted to use it. I think it might look better with the yellow. I also thought about color coding the stations so that we could see, like, just with a big broad stroke, what each one is making. Yeah, that yellow is better than the red. The red doesn't look so hot right there, I don't think. Let's do that, and let's paint over this. I'm just sort of trying out ideas. Nothing here is final. In fact, none of it's final. Not very little, none of it. Okay, there we go. And I had this idea of color coding the stations. So we've got like orange here for the copper ore. But then the blue doesn't really match the iron ore because it is kind of a blue color. But we've got this cyan and we've got this very dark, like this is what the blue is. More looks like purple to me. So maybe we can try giving it a border. If not, we'll just abandon the idea of color coding it. What if we give it a border of maybe black's too strong? Zip, zip, zip. Let's just let's do it one time and see what it looks like. Zoomed out. The strong edge is kind of interesting. What else could we give it? Could we give it a totally unrelated color? We could just go really bonkers with the colors and create rainbow like patterns that, like I could put another edge of the next color in the rainbow and just keep expanding it until we run out of space and the world explodes. Or something like that. And I'm also going to use the bricks and that kind of stuff. And also walls eventually. So we'll probably do something where we have like an edge of walls or something like that. Maybe one space back so you can see the concrete. And we will also be linking it up. Where did my walls go? Zoop, zoop, zoop. I have... That's not all of them, right? And they're right here. Sometimes I can't see things, all right? Deal with it. Yeah, we'll have like an edge for the train tracks like this. Sort of thing. And then we need to link it up and make sure it connects. And we're only going to do as far as the actual railroads are concerned. That's going to be the edge. Otherwise, I don't think it would look good if we just concrete over the whole island. And I don't want to try to make it a perfect circle. I want it to still look like an island. And I went to all the trouble of installing this Alien Biomes mod. So I don't want to overwrite all of the islands so we can still see the cool red and orange ground. And we're going to link it up to our bridge design here, which also uses colored concrete. This uses the rainbow down the middle, and we've got black concrete and I think white concrete. So we'll probably... That worked really well for this design. I think we'll probably try to do that as well. Black and white concrete. Probably not this thing, but I'll keep fiddling with it, and we'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Getting close to 100 rockets. See you next episode for last episode. Bye-bye.